Why would a luxury passenger ship become a tragedy at sea during World War I? This is about the RMS Lusitania, a grand vessel of the early 20th century. In May 1915, it embarked on a history-defining journey. Unfortunately, it crossed paths with a hidden German U-boat. This fatal incident astounded the world. The sinking Lusitania is a complex tale of war, tragedy, and controversy. On May 1st, 1915, the Lusitania embarked from New York to Liverpool with 1,959 passengers on board. The voyage, set to last 7 days, promised to connect 2 continents and various lives. It played host to a diverse pool of individuals reflecting the broader society. From the luxurious cabins of the affluent to the humble accommodations of middle-class families, the ship encapsulated all societal layers. Alongside these people were war refugees, individuals fleeing a chaotic, the rich and famous, entities of success were present too. Business magnates and esteemed artists, their lavish lifestyles a stark contrast to the humble middle-class families. They were people with dreams and prospects embedded in the hull of the magnificent ship. Yet amidst the thrill and anticipation there was a hint of danger. On the day of departure, local newspapers carried a foreboding warning from the German embassy. It warned that British and Allied vessels were subject to attack in the waters around the British Isles, a harsh reminder of the ongoing war across the Atlantic. But this warning didn't deter the passengers. Maybe they thought the Lusitania was too grand to be touched. Maybe they trusted in the promise of safe passage, or maybe they had no choice, their travels determined by circumstances outside their control. So, with the New York skyline fading behind them, the Lusitania set off on its doomed voyage. The air was thick with adventure and an uneasy tension. As the ship moved away from the safe harbor, it was drawn into the war zone, becoming a pawn in a lethal chase. Ignoring the warning, the Lusitania sailed on, immersed in a perilous game of cat and mouse. On the afternoon of May 7th, a German U-boat spotted the Lusitania off the coast of Ireland. The German submarine U-20, driven by Captain Walter Schweiger, was lurking beneath the calm sea, its periscope eyeing the grand vessel. With a calculated coldness, the U-boat launched a torpedo aimed directly at the unsuspecting ship. The torpedo struck the Lusitania with a deafening roar, causing a massive explosion. The ship shuddered violently, the force of the impact rippling through its steel body. Chaos erupted on board. Passengers were thrown off their feet, dishes fell and shattered, and a cloud of thick smoke billowed from the ship's side. The crew of the Lusitania, trained and prepared for such disasters, rallied to maintain order. Lifeboats were frantically readied as the ship began to list heavily to the starboard side. However, the speed at which the Lusitania was sinking left little time for a coordinated evacuation. Despite the crew's best efforts, many lifeboats could not be launched. Some were tangled in ropes, others jammed on their davits. Those that made it to the water were often dangerously overcrowded, the panicked passengers clambering aboard in fear for their lives. Below decks, water was pouring in through the gaping hole left by the torpedo. Corridors and cabins filled rapidly, trapping those within. Above, passengers and crew scrambled for the remaining lifeboats or threw themselves into the icy water, desperate to escape the sinking ship. Meanwhile, the U-20, having achieved its deadly objective, slipped away unseen beneath the waves, leaving behind a scene of utter devastation. The once magnificent Lusitania, struck by a single torpedo, was rapidly succumbing to the sea. In the face of such a rapid disaster, the bravery of the crew and passengers was truly remarkable. Stories of selfless acts and valiant attempts to save others emerged from the chaos, testament to the human spirit in the face of overwhelming adversity. In a mere 18 minutes, the Lusitania was swallowed by the sea, taking 1,198 lives with it. A tragedy at sea that would echo through the annals of history and change the face of warfare forever. The sinking of the Lusitania ignited a storm of controversy and outrage. The tragedy was felt across the globe, but it was the aftermath that brought forth a whirlwind of emotions and questions. As the world grappled with the loss of nearly 1,200 innocent lives, the controversy surrounding the ship's cargo intensified. The Lusitania, lauded for her speed and luxury, was also carrying munitions for the war effort. This revelation led to heated debates and accusations of foul play. The British government was quick to point fingers at Germany, citing the attack as a blatant violation of international law. Germany, on the other hand, defended their actions, arguing that the Lusitania, loaded with war materials, was a legitimate military target. The reality, it seemed, was shrouded in layers of political maneuvering and wartime necessity. And then there were the conspiracy theories. Some argued that the Lusitania was deliberately put at risk to draw the United States into World War I. The ship, they said, was used as bait, a sacrificial lamb to stir up anti-German sentiment and rally the US to join the Allies. These theories gained traction with the revelation that the British Admiralty had known about the U-boat in the area but had failed to provide the Lusitania with an escort. Was it negligence or a calculated risk? The question hung in the air, adding fuel to the fire of controversy. The sinking of the Lusitania became a rallying cry for the Allies, a symbol of German ruthlessness and a catalyst for America's entry into the war. But amidst the outrage and the propaganda, the truth of the Lusitania's final journey became murkier. Investigations, inquiries, and debates have since attempted to uncover the truth, but with every new piece of evidence, the waters only seem to get murkier. The Lusitania, once a symbol of human ingenuity and progress, now lies at the bottom of the sea, a grim reminder of the horrors of war. The Lusitania's sinking remains a contentious chapter in history, its full truth perhaps forever lost to the depths. The Lusitania's tragic end left an indelible mark on history. As the news of the sinking of the Lusitania spread across the globe, the world was left in shock, and the reverberations of this unprecedented disaster echoed far beyond the immediate human toll. The sinking of the Lusitania was a turning point in the First World War. It was a stark reminder of the brutal reality of warfare, shifting public opinion and galvanizing nations. In the United States, the incident played a pivotal role in swaying public sentiment towards joining the war. The loss of American lives on the Lusitania became a rallying point for the US, ultimately leading them to enter the fray in 1917, a decision that would significantly alter the course of the conflict. In the wake of this disaster, maritime laws were scrutinized and reformed. The tragedy underscored the need for increased protections for non-combatants at sea during times of war. It led to more stringent regulations on the arming of merchant ships and clearer guidelines on the rights of neutral ships in war zones, changes that would eventually evolve into the laws of naval warfare that govern our seas today. But the legacy of the Lusitania extends beyond political and legal spheres. The memory of the ship and its victims endures, etched into our collective consciousness. Memorials and monuments have been erected in honor of the lives lost, standing as silent testaments to the human cost of the tragedy. The Lusitania's story has been immortalized in countless books, films, and songs, keeping the memory of the ship and its final journey alive. Even today, over a century later, the wreck of the Lusitania lies at the bottom of the ocean, a haunting underwater monument to a bygone era. Exploration of the wreckage continues, with each dive revealing more about the ship's final moments and the lives of those on board. The Lusitania's tragic end serves as a poignant reminder of the destructive power of warfare, a lesson from history that resonates with each new generation. It's a tale of humanity's resilience in the face of disaster, of bravery and sacrifice, and of the enduring spirit of those who perished. A century later, the Lusitania's story continues to captivate us, a haunting reminder of the perils of war and the human cost of conflict.